right. All right. Welcome, Rebecca. I'm so glad to have you on this call with us for another wellness awareness video. My little brief introduction before I let you kind of take the wheel and tell us about yourself is that I have worked with you and you're so calming. Your presence is just so calming and can be so therapeutic to be around somebody who's just so good
Oh,
at really considering their presence. And so that's huge. And what you're sharing today is something that I think that a lot of people are maybe not familiar with. The Reiki and the Soul-Collage and all those elements, I think a lot of people have just never considered or even experienced or heard of or that kind of thing. So I'm excited for you to give us a rundown. But before we get started in those details, would you please start out kind of maybe share your story building up to your step into this sort of line of work and talk to us about how you got there and who is Rebecca Aydelette and that kind of thing?
yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm super excited about all the things that I've got my fingers in these days, and just love being able to share. And wow, that was thank you for all those kind words. So I am a few years ahead of you on the path of homeschooling 4 kids.
Yes, you're
And
a role model for me there.
yeah, so I'm retiring in May. After 19 years,
Wow.
our youngest is graduating. So um, I think I have always just been interested in learning, and also just been interested in um, just going deeper and figuring out who I am and why I am the way I am. I think sometimes it's easy for us to go, "Ooh, gosh, I'm just weird," and kind of dismiss that. Um, but I've always been interested in just kind of digging deeper and deeper and deeper. And actually, it probably it just saved me. At w- you know, at one point, I'd consider myself kind of a professional volunteer,
Mm,
um, volunteering for any and everything, and involved in any and everything,
mhm.
trying to keep up with the home stuff and the school stuff and the outside stuff, and just really looked in the mirror one day and literally didn't recognize who I was. So I picked up a pen and paper and started journaling, and just things as I got to the point of needing them found their way to me.
Mhm.
And I guess that's really how I got where I am. The things that I'm so I went to school to be a potter.
Mhm.
That's what my formal training is in, pottery. And so when I got to a point of not needing to be a full-time teacher, and got to the point that I learned the word no,
Mm.
I could pick up pottery again, and that was lovely and
Yeah.
divine. And I will probably always practice that at some level. But for now, it's just what I do for me.
Mm.
Um, and and I've kind of stepped into these interests of mine, not knowing how they were going to come together.
Mhm.
But so aromatherapy
Mhm.
and Reiki.
Mhm.
I'm a Soul-Collage facilitator, and now I'm a labyrinth facilitator. So
Oh, I don't even know what that
yeah,
means, but that's exciting.
right? I know.
I've heard you talk about labyrinths before, and I've been to places where they have labyrinths, but I've never quite understood the depths, of all of that. So that's really fun. Cool.
Yeah, so I just combined, I just kind of call them soul tending practices.
Oh, beautiful.
And I guess I consider myself a soul tending guide,
Mm.
teaching folks how to incorporate these things into their lives, and helping them dig deeper and figure out, who they are at a soul level, remember who they are and reconnect with that.
Mhm.
And that is just something I love doing.
Yeah, and I've been to one of your Soul Collage events, and it was beautiful, and it really is one of these spaces where, you have a chance to stop and doing whatever, you kind of shut out everything else and come to this like very I don't know, sort of sacred space.
Yeah.
And Rebecca just guides you to do this, like, it's almost mindless creativity and also very thoughtful creativity. It's kind of beautiful how it works like that. But so I highly recommend Soul Collage for sure because I've experienced it firsthand. But all those other pieces make so much sense. Um, okay, so taking a step to the next question, what would you say? Who are you looking to help or to have come into your circle and work with?
So, um, everybody, because I think, and I know that's maybe too general, but I think we're all so busy these days. And so somebody who's looking for a chance to just pause and take a deep breath and dig a little deeper and, get some of those questions answered for themselves, those heart questions. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this is it's good for guys and girls both. It's good for younger folks and probably well, kids some, but probably more older teens to old people.
Yeah, I love it. I know. I don't think that there's a limitation on who could benefit from that. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then can you explain to me just for the audience, because just what does soul collage look like, just really briefly, and then maybe also a little bit about what does Reiki mean, because I think a lot of people hear that term used a lot and maybe aren't really sure what that even means.
Yeah, so I really should have gotten a card out to share. I didn't think that far ahead. But basically I do have this is a this is what like a background might be for a
Yeah.
card. So they're about this size,
Mhm.
and so 5 by 8,
Mhm.
and they can go either way. That's upside down, but um, so the process is intuitively picking an image or allowing an image to pick you.
Mhm.
And then you kind of audition those images on different backgrounds to see where it really wants to go. And it, maybe it's a little out there to think in terms of the image speaking to you, but it really, if you can tap into that intuition, it
Yeah.
really does kind of place itself
Yeah,
on the
we so
background.
much overthink everything these days. So it's just like, you're right, just kind of let it, just pick what do you like? What's the first thing
Yeah,
that pops out? Yeah, no, I think
yeah.
that's, it sounds woo woo, but really it's just about letting go of your thinking process a bit. See what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. It's getting out of that logical,
Yeah,
overthinking brain.
yeah.
And I mean, we've all flipped through magazines or books and had images kind of jump out at us.
Mhm,
That's exactly what happens here is
mhm.
you're allowing those images to jump out at you, and then you place them on a background that it kind of guides you into choosing. And then there are journal questions.
Mhm,
So you put yourself into the card. So you're speaking from the card. You ask, who am I?
mhm.
What do you have for me? What do you require of me? And is there anything else that you would like me to know? So those 4 questions are basic questions, and you can ask any question that you want.
Mhm,
Um, but those are the 4 basic questions to get to know the cards.
mhm,
And boy, there's some really fantastic wisdom that we all hold it,
mhm.
that wisdom, and tapping into it is just, it's really incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I love it.
So,
It's a beautiful experience, and I've used my cards on a regular basis that I made. And I bought extra materials, and I need to make the time and space to do it because it's so therapeutic. Such a simple craft like that you can just do. So
Yeah, yeah, and that is the beauty of it. I mean, all you need is images. So we all have magazines,
yeah.
images. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be 5 by 8. You know, you can actually make a larger collage or a smaller one,
Yeah.
whatever you have.
Yeah.
So it's easy and accessible. And then Reiki is it's a Japanese energy healing modality,
Hmm.
and with that, as a practitioner, um, I work with energy, with the my clients' energy, um, i- in helping blockages get moved.
Mm.
So as we're able to get energy flowing in a healthy way,
Hmm.
um, we can tap in. Well, we can create a more restful, relaxed, less stressful state of being. And
Yeah.
once we do that, then our body can tap into its healing potential.
Mm. Yeah.
So,
You know what I think sometimes we think to ourselves, oh, if I can just figure out what's wrong with me, or if I can just like identify the thing that's causing me to be stressful, or you just keep thinking that one stone is going to flip over. And sometimes we really do need somebody else to step in and see it from an outside perspective. And my experience with Reiki is just that somebody is just like evaluating you just from a totally outside perspective and offering intuitive advice that is really powerful and can help us just be like, oh yeah, you're totally right. Like that's just what was over my head, and I wasn't fully embracing that or whatever. So it's hard
yeah,
sometimes to see it from our internal perspective. So yeah. Anyway, I could be totally off on that, but
no, no, and it's really gentle. Some practitioners will place their hands
hmm
on you. I hover. I'm a hoverer.
hmm
Um, so I mean, it's energy, so it's not about manipulating body parts, as a chiropractor would do.
right. hmm
Um, and so we're trying to get to find where if you think about it, well, these with us, we're going to have some creeks that are plugged up with all sorts of stuff with our rain.
Oh sure.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's kind of that same thing as finding where the limbs have kind of bunched up
Yes.
and unbunch them so that
Yeah.
the energy can flow.
Yeah.
And it's gentle, it's non-invasive, and it works on physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual um,
Mhm.
levels. And the energy goes, so it's not of me, it flows through me like a straw,
Mhm.
um or like a conduit. So it's not my energy, I'm not directing it.
Mhm.
It goes where it needs to go. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds very just totally relaxing. I love it. Okay. Do you have any particular client stories or experiences with clients that you can share where with Soul Collage, with Reiki, with anything that you do, and you've just seen them really see some results, or um, able to use the tools you have for something in a powerful way?
So I think in terms of Reiki, I think across the board, the thing that that I hear the most
Hmm.
is how much of a sense of peace and calm
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
clients experience, and that it's not just in the moment, but that it lasts
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
a week or 2 weeks, and it has a cumulative effect. So it's kind of like putting money in the bank,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
um, so that I think is the thing that I hear frequently
Mhm.
across the board with the Reiki clients. And with Soul Collage, just being able to get to those aha moments.
Mm.
Folks they'll be working, and I mean, you've experienced the zone.
Yeah.
You just kind of get in
Mhm.
that zone where you're making cards, and you might not journal from them immediately. You might not get to know them immediately, but um, when you start getting to know them, that aha, that oh my goodness gracious, wow. And then the more you work with them, the deeper you go. So
Mhm.
I have a on a personal note with the cards. I have um, eh, just as I've been working with them and seeing how the message changes over time.
Mhm.
The energy of the card, like the focus of each card,
Mhm.
doesn't change, but the message
Mhm.
changes, and it will get to you exactly like you need it in the moment.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
It reminds me, it makes, I mean, and just in the same way of meditation, but it gives you this opportunity to, instead of speaking, like, I think about prayer as this speaking time. It's this, like, it's this listening time.
It
And
is.
just having this time to really hear something outside of your inner body, like, so I just love it. It feels like an amazing tool for that. So okay, so now shifting into a new question. I'm really excited about all of this. Everybody come out and meet Rebecca in person at our expo on Sunday. Before we go, Rebecca, though, would you share one little thing that you do every day to help you stay feeling your healthiest and your best?
Yeah, I work with my cards, with the Soul-Collage cards
Yeah.
almost every day. So I journal and I work with them almost every day. I get a little cranky when I don't work with them.
I love it. You need it, so you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. I
Thank
love what
you.
you're doing, and I can't wait to have you out on our farm and have people over and do the same. And of course, the expo on Sunday is going to be wonderful. Rebecca is doing an amazing raffle, so come, you might win it. And also, she'll have some fun activities at her table as well. So you can come and kind of get a feel for what she's all about in living color. So thank you, Rebecca, so much. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Lacey. Thank you so much. Take care.